Hi, hello, namaskar. What's up, everybody? This is Shubham Thakur here, and welcome to Shubham Thakur's Live. And so today I'm going to be discussing about emotional and mental health with our guest who is from Arizona, USA, a naturopathic physician. Here I'm welcoming Dr. Karthik Ramanan.
Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome, sir. Welcome to Shubham Thakur's Live.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So, how are you, sir?
Just gonna doing well, doing well. It's bright and early here on a Monday morning, but
Yeah.
definitely looking forward to a great conversation. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, sir. So, first of all, let's start this session. And, sir, could you please give a brief about introduction of yours and your journey?
Sure. So, fundamentally, naturopathic physician. This is actually my second career. I
Yeah.
originally studied at Cornell University to it's a double major, applied economics and management
Yes.
and biology. I went to work on Wall Street for 8 years and had a
Yeah.
really good career there. Got promotions, all that stuff. And even though it was a very stressful time, it was through the 2008 financial collapse and the years afterward. But
Yes, sir.
nonetheless, my mentality was just, work hard, learn as much as I could, and just serve my clients as best as I could. Well, after a few years, I found myself in a difficult spot because I'd made good money. I had my own apartment. I
Yeah.
was able to pay off all the credit card debt and my student loans, and I was able to give more to charity and than I
Yes, sir.
ever thought I could at that age. But unfortunately, I was very empty inside. I felt that something was missing. I felt purpose was missing. And on
Yes,
the
sir.
outside, high achieving, everything looked like it was great. I ticked all the boxes, right? But on the inside,
Yeah.
I was I was struggling, and nobody knew. I didn't let anybody know because that was not part of, my
Yeah.
my persona, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely struggled with loneliness and everything. I saw my sister after a 3 month span. I was at a rock bottom place. I was trying to lose weight for so many years, and I just couldn't make any success. And I saw my sister after a 3 month span, and she had lost a significant amount of weight, and her skin had cleared up. And I said, "What did you do?" And she told me about a raw food plant based diet. And I said, "I don't know. That sounds crazy. What do you do with that?" She said, "I'm just eating
Yeah.
fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, just as they're found in nature." I felt like I had nothing to lose, so I tried it, and within three
Yeah.
weeks, I was at the lowest weight I'd ever been as an adult. And that's when things started to expand. Like, what if I could lose weight? What if I could be attractive? What if I could find purpose in my life? And I just went on this journey of exploring who I could be. And in
Yes.
doing so, I lost 100 pounds. I decided to switch careers and bring this healing to other people. So I left Wall
Yes.
Street and I went to medical school in Arizona to become a naturopathic physician. In the process, I also met the love of my life, and we're married now. And to me, what I realized is that, there's so many strategies, and I have the books on the wall here, Fiber Fueled, How Not to Diet. Those are great nutrition books. Ultimately, though, before you even get to that stage, before you even get to the stage of implementing any kind of tactic to help you feel better, there's an understanding that has to happen inside of your mind that you
Yes, sir.
want something more for your life. And that's what I help people achieve. I help high achieving professionals and entrepreneurs end burnout as their emotional health mentor.
Yeah, so that's really great, and I'm so inspired by your story as well. I watch all the YouTube videos, and guys, I recommend please watch the Dr. K Show videos. All of your videos, it really gonna help you. And so as you spoke about emotional health in a lot of your videos, so could you please tell what is emotional health and how it is different from mental health?
Sure, absolutely. So emotional health is a combination of emotional intelligence and emotional
Yeah,
resilience. Emotional
yeah,
intelligence is your self awareness, understanding of
yes, sir.
yourself, understanding of your emotions, understanding of how you react to situations. It's your self-talk. It's all of those things. It's also the ability to understand another person and understand what they're
Yeah.
going through and to be able to see a situation more objectively rather than projecting yourself onto somebody else. Then the other
Yeah.
part of that is emotional resilience. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's your ability to pick yourself up after you've been knocked down. It's your ability to process your emotions so that your emotional resilience is not this perceived sense of toughness that nothing can affect you. It's understanding that emotions are part of who we are as human beings. They're very important. We need to be able to understand them, process them, and then let them go. Emotions are like storms.
Yeah.
Negative emotions, I should say. They're like storm clouds. They come and they go. It's just that some people live in that storm cloud even after it's gone away. So that's emotional
Yeah.
resilience. So emotional health is the combination of both. Now, the difference between mental health and emotional health is
Yeah.
a little bit more subtle. Uh, some people consider it to be mental health is about your thoughts. Emotional health is about your feelings. That's one way to think about it. But
Yeah.
fundamentally, the factors that drive positive mental health are really the same factors that drive positive emotional health. And that's what I call the five pillars of emotional health. And that is your psychology, the way that you think, act, your relationship with yourself,
Yes, sir.
your belief patterns, your relationships is number two. So both romantic
Yeah.
relationships, parental relationships, friends, the people around you dictate so much about how you think, act, and feel. So your relationships are important. And then lifestyle factors of nutrition, sleep, and exercise. So when you optimize those five areas, your mental health and emotional health are going to be much better off.
Yes, sir. So nowadays, as in this digital era, social media is kind of a part of our life. We cannot survive without that.
Yeah.
So what do you think that how social media is affecting us mentally as well as physically?
Yeah, I'm one of those people that does not think that social media inherently is bad. However,
Yes, sir.
it needs to be used intelligently. One thing to understand, and I think everybody should understand this, is that
Yeah.
social media is designed to get you to engage, right? So the algorithms are designed to put content in front of you that you will
Yeah.
enjoy. So
Yes, sir.
that doesn't mean that you're going to get an objective opinion on things. It's going to show you things that you already think and believe. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
something to be aware of, because if you do want a different opinion, a different perspective, you have to go out and seek it. It's not going to be fed to you. But at the same time, a lot of people use social media casually, and I'm not talking about the influencers, but I'm not talking about the people that are, teaching content. But everybody that uses social media casually on a personal level, they're generally going to be
Yeah.
sharing things that are positive in their life. So if you look at a curated set of everything
Yes,
that's
sir.
going well in everybody else's life, and then you compare that to your average every day,
Yeah.
that's not going to be a healthy relationship. So the way that I recommend my clients use social media is use it as a tool, just like the mind. The mind can go crazy
Yeah.
and, think about all sorts of things and worry about the future,
Yes, sir.
focus on the past. But ultimately, the mind is also extremely powerful for helping us focus and do something meaningful in this world. Same thing with social media. If you use social media to learn new things, to listen to your show, for instance, and bring in
Yeah.
new ideas into their minds so that they feel enriched and educated, that's a good use of social media. If you're using
Yes,
social
sir.
media to basically end up feeling bad about yourself, that's when it's probably time to take a step back and really focus on what is important in our lives, and that is, the people and relationships around us.
Yes, sir. And it's kind of it's more of the addictive thing, and it's so addictive to everyone, or especially for youngster. So how to use it in limit? So because we are scrolling our feed, I think 24/7. Whenever we get our, we had a phone in our hand, and we are just scrolling our feed, and and we had nothing to do much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
how to stop that
Well,
addiction? Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Any kind of addiction, whether it's,
Yeah.
food, anything else, certainly some addictions are neurochemically a lot harder to break than others. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, you it all boils down to, think about this. What is more powerful? I go to the gym, or I am a fit person, right? If you say I go to
Yeah.
the gym, then that's something you do. If you say I am a fit person, now you're not going to be doing
Yeah.
anything that is going to deviate from that. What we need is a vision for ourselves, a vision for who we are that is stronger, bigger, more expansive than consuming social media. If you don't
Yes,
have
sir.
a vision for your life, you're going to find ways to fill that. If there was no social media, like there wasn't years ago, you would fill it with
Yeah.
something else. I was going to the bar, going, like all the time, getting
Yeah.
wasted, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But the point is that now we fill it with something else. If you have that empty space, we are going to fill it with something. And if
Yes, sir.
social media is just easy because there's so much content, you can never get through all of it. There's always something
Bored
to
of.
scroll
Yeah.
and find.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but in terms of mechanistically to help uh, create something different, here's one thing that has changed my life completely, and something that I really hammer home whenever I got a chance to talk about it. Here's an opportunity, right? A very easy opportunity. So, when we go to bed at night, what do we usually have in our hands?
Yes,
Phones,
sir.
right? So we have the phone,
Yeah.
we put it next to us. The phone is our alarm
Yeah.
clock, right? So what happens at night? We're laying in bed, we're looking at the phone, then we put it,
Yes,
set the
sir.
alarm, put it aside, right? And then we get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. We go to the bathroom, you come back, you check your phone to see if there's any messages, notifications, whatever, right? You might
Yeah.
scroll for, and now half an hour, your brain is already woken up because you've screwed up the melatonin balance and everything else, the blue light from the phone. Now you put it down, you can't
Yeah.
sleep so well. You wake up in the morning, and then what's the first thing you do? You look at your phone before you even get out of bed.
Yes, sir.
We have given up our power over the entire day by doing that. So here's another way of doing it. This is what I've been doing now myself for the last almost 2 years, and it's changed everything. Don't sleep with your phone. Put your phone in another room to
Okay.
charge overnight. Use a alarm clock. I mean, they're cheap.
Yeah.
We've had them before. They
Yes,
work
sir.
forever, right? Use an alarm
Yeah.
clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that way, when you go to bed, you can be intentional about, reflecting on the day, visualizing what you want for the next day, right? You go to sleep, you get a good night's sleep because you're not disturbing your circadian rhythm with the blue light and everything else from the phone. Not to mention the mental stimulation at a time when we're supposed to be relaxing, right? We're
Yes, sir.
supposed to be relaxing, and instead we are stimulating our mind. No wonder we have anxiety and other issues that get amplified because of this, right? And then you
Yeah.
wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you do your thing, right? And then don't look at your phone yet. Do something like, step out on the balcony, take in the sun, or sit down and meditate, pray, or journal, or do some stretching, some yoga, something to move your body so that you get some circulation. Or all of those things, make a morning routine that you like. That's up to you. But what I
Yes, sir.
do is, I wake up, I sit down and I meditate for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I journal. I developed a journal for people like me that hate journaling. It's called the Dr. K Journal. You can download it for free at drkjournal.com if you want. And so you can do some kind of journal. That's what I do. I do some that journaling, and then after that, I have already visualized what I want for the day. I have goal set for the entire day, right? Now I'm free to look at my email, look at my phone, all these things, and they don't affect me as much because I've taken control of my day before it has started, rather than
Yes,
giving
sir.
up control of your day before it started. You do that for a few days, and you'll never want to sleep with your phone again. You'll never want to have that that dopamine addiction to,
Yeah.
or that addiction to that response from social media, because you have, again, something purposeful within yourself. And then you can look to social media as, how can social media help me become more of the person that I want to be, rather than telling
Yeah.
me who I should be.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so that's the very good answer, and which I was for which I was looking for, and that's the like most of us didn't even don't even consider that a problem. So yeah, so that was really helpful. And so being in the pandemic, as the COVID situation is still going on, and the situation here in India is kind of a bad or kind of a good. It's in the middle. It's in the middle, like. Cases are raising, but not but people are not um, working to prevent that. Yeah. So there are so what is the coronavirus anxiety and how to deal with that, because that is one of the major problem nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely something that is changed, certainly over the course of
Yeah.
the pandemic. In the beginning, there was a lot of anxiety around health concerns, and there was also a lot of anxiety around, certainly here in the U.S., around job loss, and how people were going
Yeah.
to make money. And then I can't speak for exactly the challenges in India, since I don't live there now, but
Yeah. I understand.
nonetheless, the anxiety in this case, there's, for each of us, it's going to be a little bit different. We might be worried about our own health, the health of a loved one. It could be financial related. Could be the fact that we don't know if and when we're going to be able to get back to normal life and be around other people. And we're a
Yeah.
social species. We need to be around other people. And at some
Yeah.
point, we get tired of this whole virtual thing, right? Um,
Yes, sir.
and really, as far as the solution, there are so many things in this world that we have no control over. It's true, right? There's so many things that
Yes,
we
sir.
have no control over. And yet
Yeah.
we tend to focus so much on those things, and then not focus on the things that we actually can control, like not sleeping with your phone, finding some other purpose in your life outside of scrolling through social media, right? Those are things that we can control. So in order to, I mean, anxiety is a major topic in and of itself, and everybody's flavor of anxiety is different. One solution for one person is not going to be the same for another person. It really
Yeah.
does take an individualized approach in many cases. However, um, the a major component of all of it is, how can we focus our attention on the things that we can control and make the best of the time that we do have? Because if anybody is able to take their negative circumstances and figure out a way to make something positive out of it, well, that means it's possible to do so. And we can do that as well.
Yes.
It's going to look different. You making the best out of your situation is going to look different than me making the best out of my situation. Everybody's situation is different. But if we live in the mentality that we can focus on what we can control and live in gratitude for what we do have, because there are a lot of people that are suffering with worse, it's true, right? We can, again, shift our focus from feeling like we're not enough, and then having to scroll through
Yes,
social
sir.
media to fill that void, and instead live in purpose.
Yeah. So mostly it kind of depend upon our psychology, our surrounding, and our culture. That there is the situation for coronavirus is different for everybody. In India is different, in America is different, in Australia is different. So
Right.
somehow in India, like the young generation right now, they are so much focused about the social media thing, and they are not they are forgetting our culture, like, in terms of yoga spirituality, and they don't even reading books, not reading granth. They only know through movies or through cartoons or animes to what our culture is. They are not adopting it, and they are uh, you know uh, they are losing our culture. They are losing the power and the psychology we have.
Yeah.
Please tell me, what is the importance of cultural heritage in our daily life?
It's human nature to
Yeah.
feel that the answers are outside, that they're from far away, because we think that if we had the answers, we would feel better. And since we're not feeling better, we don't have the answers, that the things around us aren't going to help us.
Yeah.
To give you an example, the Statue of Liberty, New York City,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
Would you like to visit that? Would you like to visit the Statue of Liberty at some
Yes,
point?
sir, for
Visit New
sure.
York City and
Yeah, for sure.
right? Naturally.
Yeah.
Now, I worked in an office building that was right next to the Statue of Liberty, and from my desk
Yeah.
by the window, I saw the Statue of Liberty out there every single day from my desk
Yeah.
at work. I lived there for 8 years, and I did not go to visit one time. I didn't visit
What?
one time, not even one time, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the things that are near us, we don't naturally don't value as much because it's like we see it, it's not as special.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, in America, right? Meditation, spirituality, like there are people craving for this, right? Yoga, like yoga is huge
Yes, sir.
here, right? We're craving it
Yeah.
because mindfulness meditation, like apps like Calm and Headspace and everything else, like they're so popular because they are so, those tools are so excellent for dealing with anxiety, for dealing with, a lot of emotional health challenges, right? Because we are bombarded daily. I mean, social
Yes,
media
sir.
feeds unbelievable amount of stimulus. What is the counteraction to that? Is peace and calm and mindfulness. So you can get that
Yes, sir.
mindfulness through meditation, through spirituality, through yoga. So I totally understand that, in India, those things are, I mean, they're from here. It can't be that special. No, they are special. They are special
Yeah, but
because everybody
yeah.
else is trying to get that into their world, right? So I think the question that we have to ask ourselves, no matter where we're from, is where am I right now? Where do I want to be? How do I feel? How do I want to feel? And if you take away any preconceived notions of, what's special, what's cool, what's unique, and just say, okay, what is the strategy that I need to get from here to here? Because right now it hurts too much, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yes, sir.
painful to be where I am. I want to be over here. Then it's going to take, looking at things that might be in your backyard, like yoga, like meditation. I get it. It doesn't sound special or unique or anything in India, but just come to the
Yeah.
US and look at all the yoga studios here and everything else, and it's special to us, right? So,
Yeah.
and people gravitate toward it because it works. So ultimately, the question you have to ask yourself, if you're in India or anywhere else, again, is how do I feel? How do I want to feel? And if it hurts too much, I will do whatever it takes, just like me with the raw foods years ago, right? If it hurts too much, we
Yeah.
will do whatever it takes. And that whatever it takes very well could be spirituality, meditation, yoga.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, so that's a more of our by our surrounding that if someone is following that, so we are automatically we are following the next person, the other person, as there's a saying that we are the average of five people we spend most of the time, right?
Yeah.
How does how our surrounding affect our psychology in terms of work, in terms of living, in terms of anything? Yeah.
Yeah, our surroundings are the most important thing. Our environment is the most important factor for how we think, act, and
Yes, sir.
feel, hands down. Like you said, we're the average of the five people and ideas that we spend the most
Yeah.
time with. That means be ultra careful about not only the people you spend your most time with, but the ideas. So that doesn't mean that, okay, let's say YouTube or TikTok is bad, but it means who you're
Yeah.
following. Be intentional about that, right?
Yeah.
Follow you, for instance, right? Is very different than following somebody that basically ends up making you feel less than, right? Because of
Yeah.
they're showing off their great life or whatever.
Yeah.
So, that there's really nothing else to say about that. just be very specific and very intentional about who you spend your time with, the ideas you spend your time with, and gradually over the course of time, we adapt to those surroundings more than anything else.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So here's the next question, which is a very major questions in all of our lives, that how to find purpose in life. So because there are so many things as in India, so people are following the pattern, the normal pattern that my father did that, I have to do this. My son will do this. They have the pattern is fixed. The people don't want to break their mental barriers. So it's sometimes people live their life and they didn't know what they are meant for. They don't know what they are doing. Are they happy, or are they not? They are just doing their job. They are living their life for just their survivals and earning money. That's all. But if you want to grow in life, if you want to really live your life, you need to have a purpose in life, right? So
Yes.
could you please tell how to find a purpose, as with you find your purpose in the early age. People 40 years old people are still clueless about their life. So please tell me.
Mhm. I could write a book on this. Um, it's no two people's journey is going to be the same. And I think, we spend so much time trying to control what
Yeah,
the outcome of our life is going to be. Like we're going to go to school, we're going to do really well, go to college, do really well, eventually get to the point that, then we get a great job, get married, have children, kids grow up,
yeah,
we retire, whatever. Like that's supposed to be the way it goes. And we always
yeah,
try to make that happen. But those don't end up being the most fulfilling lives. The fulfilling lives are the ones that take weird turns, right? So that like the change in my career to go from Wall Street
yeah.
to medicine, like really, you know, it's you if you see that on my resume, you probably would
Yeah,
say, okay, there must be a real story behind this. That's where fulfillment comes in, right? I was in that place toward the end of my time in New York where I was really looking for that purpose. Like I don't know what I'm here for, and it's a very lonely feeling. It's a depressing feeling, right? And ultimately, one thing to keep in mind though is you have to explore without limits. Because even when we explore,
yeah,
right? Think about it as a child. What do children do? Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? They will say anything. Anything is possible to them, right? Because they
yeah,
dream. There's no limits. And somehow when we get older
yeah,
and older, you know, people tell us that we can't do this, or society tells us we have to be a certain way. And
yeah.
eventually we get stuck into this one lane and say, okay, what's my purpose in life? It's got to be within these two walls, though. I can't look outside. It's got to be right here. And
Yes,
it
sir.
just doesn't
That's it.
work that
Yeah,
way. So if we have to
yeah,
start to dream like a child again and say, what does interest me? Maybe try a few new hobbies or interests. Another thing you can use to explore is, what do people come to you for? What do your friends come to you for? Do they, what I realized, for instance, looking back, is that my friends used to come to me to just talk. And when they had something heavy going on, they would come to me to
yeah,
voice it out and to get my perspective, or for me to just listen and not provide any, right? And I didn't know what that would turn into. Now I do. That's exactly what I do for my clients now, right?
yeah,
It's being willing to explore without limits, and to also understand that we all have a desire to please, usually our parents, right? It was the same case with me too. I wanted my mother and father to be proud of me, and that drove a lot of the decisions that I made when I was younger too, because it was like, I know that this would be it would be good for me,
yeah,
good education, that sort of thing, and it would make them happy too. Great. Ultimately, I had to discover that once I got to a certain point, I needed to explore what made my heart sing, what made me happy. And in doing so, I knew that the path is not this clear set path that other people can wrap their head around. But
yes, sir.
as time went on, as I owned it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to release who I think I'm supposed to be and embrace who I am and take everything that has happened in my life and use it in the service of others, right? And make that
Yeah.
becomes my purpose. And then in doing so, everybody that you wanted to please, sometimes it just falls in place. My parents are extremely proud of me, and it's a great feeling because even though I didn't go down any of the set paths that they might have predicted or thought would be a good way to go, they see the way that I have owned the path that I'm taking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So by releasing who we think we're supposed to be, embracing who we are, and truly discovering what is of interest to us, how we can be of most service. Purpose is about service. There's no
Yes,
purpose in
sir.
life if there's no service to others in some capacity, right? So you
Yeah.
want that to be a major part of who you are and in that discovery of your purpose. But everybody's path is different. Everybody's route to that discovery is different. And it's just about, trying a few things,
Yeah.
seeing what works.
Yes, sir. So in finding, in the process of finding the purpose in life, you overthink a lot. So I started my career when I was 12. I was in the Bollywood. I was in Bollywood. I did two Bollywood movies. So in that time, I was very clear that I have to do acting. I have to do dance, and later maybe I can become a pop star or something. So after that,
Right.
when I when I grow older, when I turned 16, then I had a dream that I want to become one of the youngest entrepreneur of India. But that time, as I was still a kid, I didn't have the proper knowledge, the sufficient knowledge to do so. So that time, so I was thinking like hell. Every time when I wake up in just for second, there's 100 of thoughts come in my mind, and I was like, every time I wake up, I told my father, Dad, what is happening with me? Am I going crazy or something? Like I call my friend every second time that I don't know what to do in life. You know that I have skills, but I don't have the purpose. I don't have something and something. So I think if I do stop the overthinking that time and start doing something, anything which I like, or which my father said, just if I do that something, I hope I haven't wasted my 3 years in just overthinking and overthinking. So how to stop that? Yeah,
Yeah, the overthinking. You're asking an
yeah.
overthinker. um, it's one of those things again that you can't solve a problem with the same method that brought you there. So
Yeah,
if overthinking is the problem, if you're trying to think about why you're overthinking,
yeah,
it's not going to work. You need something that
yeah,
is completely different, right? So that's a very
yeah,
cognitive process, the overthinking. So do something that is less cognitive and more physiological. So, for instance, more physical activity, or going outside and breathing some fresh air, or singing, dancing, whatever it is that makes you feel like yourself, right? It takes
yeah,
you out of that state of overthinking and then allows you to just really process, both in your mind and in your body, how you're
yeah,
feeling in that moment, things that inspire you and allow you to move forward. So, and ultimately understanding that, yes, we can control our actions, but we can't choose the results of those actions. So many things are outside of our control. We can only choose the intention and action that we take to move forward. And if we
yeah,
spend too much time thinking and not enough time acting, we're not going to be able to produce any of the results, and it's just going to produce more of a spiral. So sometimes it just gets to the point where, okay, do enough thinking to do the cost benefit analysis, let's say, of a couple different paths, and then just try it.
yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere unless you just take the action. I spent probably a year and a half learning about how to do YouTube the right way before I started. Why not just start and then figure out along the way? So it's
Yeah.
you never want overthinking to get in the way of action. And the moment you notice that happening is when you know that you need to start just doing something.
Yes, sir. So it's more of a thing about the inner peace. So, so it's a lot. It's so difficult to have peace inside because I have tried so many things. I did meditation. I did the time when I decided I have to do this podcast or live sessions with the other people. After that time, I became peaceful. I became focused toward my goals and what I'm clear that what I have to do. But before that I was like, I can become a singer, I can become a dancer, I can become an actor, I can do everything possible in this world. But still I can do, but I have to choose a path to do something. At least I have to start something. That was the point. And so I was, initially I was inside, I was so disturbed that if someone gave me advice, I was like, do you really know that? I was like, I was so offensive. When some people give me advice, I was like, if there is a senior person, I just listen to them properly. If someone is, of my age or my junior or maybe senior than senior, 2 3 years senior, I got offended. So it's more of a inner peace. So how to find that? You know, uh, how to find the inner peace? Yeah,
Well, I think one of the things that you pointed out though is that until you started this interview series, right,
yeah,
that there was a lot of turmoil. And if tell me if I'm wrong here. I believe the interview series gives you a sense of two things that are very important. One is growth, because with
yeah,
each interview, you're able to improve your skills, improve,
yeah,
the quality of the conversation itself. But more importantly,
yes,
the
sir.
other part is giving, serving.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes, sir.
we are, if our purpose is tied almost entirely to being of service to others. If we feel, just think about it. What do you prefer more? At some point, do you prefer giving a gift or receiving a gift? Right? For most of us, it's, that act of giving feels so good in a way that no
Yeah,
gift that you receive can ever do. And it's that
yeah,
act of being of service to other people that gives us more purpose. And when we live in purpose, inner peace is just there. We have to understand something that, when we try to find these things like inner peace, and then we try these things like yoga and meditation or everything else. But the truth is that inner peace is our natural state. It's just that we put so many things on our plate and let so many things in our mind that it becomes cloudy. So all that you
yeah,
really need to do, it's not that meditation is something you have to go out and get
yeah,
and that produces inner peace. All meditation does is help you clear away the excess of what is there to help you find that inner peace. And if you're living your day every single day with a sense of purpose, of giving, of serving other people in a meaningful way,
yes, sir.
you're going to find your inner peace.
Yeah. So, there are so many people out there who are working and who just started, like me, and they want to be, more successful in their life. They want to be more like of just as I want to become an actor, I want to become an entrepreneur. But there are some barriers, right? That I'm still 19. It takes a lot of time to become the next Leonardo DiCaprio, or Brad Pitt or something, or Amitabh Bachchan. But I know it's like it's more of like I want to become the first Shubham Thakur. But when we think that I can become more than that, so there are some mental barriers who are stopping us. That no, stay calm down, stay. You have to
Yeah.
think first. You have to work as hard as you can. There are society, there are surrounding. So how to break that mental barrier in order to become successful or a better person in life? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, ultimately, really important thing to understand is, why do you want to get there? Why do you want to be, the next Leonardo DiCaprio or the next, Elon Musk or whoever, right?
Yeah.
Why? Is it because that if you get to that state, you feel that you will have something in your life that you're missing now? Because
Yes,
if
sir.
that's the reason,
That's the
I
point.
can almost guarantee you that that will never happen. I work with so many high achieving entrepreneurs and professionals that have lived that way their whole life. Now they're getting to their point, they're in their 50s and 60s, and they're starting to realize that I have worked so hard and achieved so much financially, whatever else, right? Family, and they still feel empty inside. They still feel that something is missing from a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with going after any goal that
Yeah.
is that is going to be of impact. Any In fact, it's great. You should have set high standards and high goals for yourself, right? Why though? Right? Is it, do you want to become famous for the sake of getting love and admiration from other people, or do you want to become famous so that you have impact and influence, so that your word matters, so that your actions matter, so that you can solve some of the problems in the world, right? So that you
Yeah.
can, whether it's providing clean water, whether it's providing education, whether it's helping people get out of their own way, or whatever it is, that is the real driving force. If you have a
Yes.
sense of purpose, a sense of like for me, I want people to discover their sense of purpose. I want them to build powerful emotional health. I don't want them to live in burnout, right? That is my purpose. Now, in the process, do I have visions of how how large I want that business to grow so that I can have that impact? Of course, right? But unless you
Yes, sir.
live in that purpose, in that real deep meaning of service to others, you're not going to want to go through the grind of the day to day, especially in the entrepreneur realm. Like there's no glory for quite some time, maybe if ever. There's so many challenges. There's so many challenges. And if you aren't enjoying the process because you don't have a
Yeah.
strong vision of why you're doing what you're doing, you won't succeed.
Yeah.
You won't stick with it long enough to succeed. So it's so important to understand your why. It's so important to understand who you're serving and why you're serving them. That is your purpose. And at that point, you focus on that and you work hard at that, then the rest of it will come.
Yes, sir. So that was a really helpful advice that you give, and I haven't think about on that perspective. So every day I'm working, every day I'm talking about my life session, and next week I'm going to organize the India's first continental panel discussion on mental health awareness in COVID-19. So that's a very big deal for me. So so there is a point where I still question about myself. How can I be the best version of myself today? What do you think about that? Yeah.
Yeah. The easiest way to be the best version of yourself today
Yeah.
is, so you're 19, right? Imagine where you want to be at 29, 39, 49, right? And
Yeah.
really visualize and write down all the characteristics of Shubham at that point in time, right? What are your habits and routines, right? What is who do you spend your time with? What's your personal life like? What's your relationship with yourself like? Have you worked on the
Yes.
things that have been a burden in the past and released them? Are you, what do you eat? How do you move your body? How do you sleep? Right? How do you, all those things, write them down. And then once you write them down, now you have a blueprint for what you need to do and start implementing each one of those things today. So to become the best version of yourself is a process. Remember that the work that you're doing today is not for the person you are today. The work that you're doing today is for the person you're going to be in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So
Yeah.
the actions that you take today are for that ideal version of yourself that you're striving to become. And you just take those visions of what that person in the future is going to be and you start reverse engineering and start doing those things today, and you'll live into that vision.
Yes, sir. So here comes the last question, which is, what advice will you give to people for life who are really confused with their lives? Yeah.
Hmm. We're very confused with their life. There's so much advice. Um, but I would say the most important thing is recognize that there are two non-renewable resources in our lives: time and
Yeah.
attention. If you show me your calendar, you show me how you spend your time, you show me where you spend your attention, and I can tell you exactly what matters to you in your life. Because we might say, hey, I really want to build that company. I really want to do all these things. But if we say those things and then we're spending all our time scrolling in social media or watching Netflix or whatever, and not focusing on all of those things that we say matter to us, then they don't matter to us as much as we think they do. That we're more committed to living the story of our past than we are committed to living into this vision of the future. So
Yes,
if
sir.
you're struggling right now, the other thing to keep in mind, I had 3 different rock bottoms in my life. We only talked about one of them here. But I will promise you one thing: rock bottom's a beautiful place to be, because rock bottom is that time in your life when you're willing to try things that are outside your comfort zone, that you're willing to try things that you didn't see yourself as ever doing before, that you're willing to try and see who you can become. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
place to be. We're living beings. We will only do what is necessary to survive. But when you're at
Yeah.
rock bottom, when you're not feeling so great, this is the time that change happens. This is the
Yeah.
time that you launch into the next level. And I know because I've been there too. The last time it happened, it was painful. I had so much. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it was a very painful period of my life. But what I realized was, at that time, I'd been through enough to say, okay, I don't know why this is all happening right now, but what I do know, because it's happened twice before, is that I'm ready to
Yeah.
launch into the next phase of my life, and it's going to be amazing. So just understanding that where you spend your time, where you spend your attention, and you start shifting some of those things. So instead of social media that's about, funny videos or whatever else that you might spend watching your time, or definitely any of the people that you follow that make you feel bad about yourself, unfollow them. Just, you have my permission. Just unfollow them. They won't notice, it doesn't matter. If they notice, whatever. You can't allow them into your world. Instead, spend your time consuming content like your show that is going to enrich their lives, that's going to help them think about things in a different way. And when you start to do that, you start to see yourself as more than what you are. And I promise you, you are here on this planet for a reason. It's just a point in time right now where you're figuring out what that's supposed to be. And that
Yes,
journey
sir.
may be quick, it may be long, but the point is that if you are on that journey, if you are growing, you will always feel better about yourself when you're growing. So give yourself a chance to grow. Follow the people, follow the people that inspire you to be the next version of yourself, and start taking action on the things that matter to you. Live in purpose, live in service to others. Your life will never be the same.
Yes, sir. So thank you so much, sir. I'm so honored to have you on my show. And first of all, this particular session is one of my favorite session. I really learned a lot from you, and it really inspired me a lot. And I will do the things you said. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
Oh, I very much
coming on the
appreciate it.
show. Yeah.
Absolutely, had a great time. And if anybody, obviously, they following you, my recommendation to anybody who follows you, watch every video. It's totally worth it. And if you want more from me, you can also find me on YouTube. If you search my name, Dr. Karthik Ramanan, you'll find that. Or if you search emotional health, you'll probably find me under emotional health as well. Oh,
Okay,
I
sir.
think we have
Thank
a
you so much, sir.
question here. I
Yeah.
just noticed from Vivian. I don't know if we have time for questions, but I think I can do one question. How would you
Yeah.
describe life? How will you describe life in your words? You're talking about the meaning of life. I'm going to assume that's what you mean. Um,
Yeah.
I really believe the meaning of life is to discover our place in the whole. So for instance, every cell in our body has its own function. If we have
Yeah,
neurons, they are in charge of sending signals from one area to another. If we have, cells in our small intestine, in the villi, they are used for digestion and to bring nutrients into the body. Every cell has a function. When cells lose sight of their function and they start expanding, they become things that lose function and start to grow out of control. We call that a tumor, eventually cancer, right? I believe each one of us, if we start to think of ourselves as cells in a larger organism, then there's going to be no hate between two people because the liver cell is not going to hate on the kidney cell. They're all part of the same organism, right? So life to me is about figuring out what is our greatest strength. Our greatest strengths are often generated from our greatest pain. Our pain forms our strengths, right? So how can you use that strength to serve other people? To me, that's the meaning of life.
I think he get the answer.
So there you have it. Hope that was helpful.
Yeah. So, is there any question
All right.
from? Yeah.
Anyone else? Let me see. Yeah, I don't see any of the other than that. Okay. Well, wonderful, sir. I appreciate the time. It was fun to be on your show. Thank you.
I'm honored, sir. I'm honored. And so really, I hope we can collaborate in future. And next time we can do, hopefully we can do a physical podcast. So thank you so much, sir.
That would be awesome. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.